most of the time when I tell people that chosen ones come from bloodline of witches, warlocks, some even come from the bloodline of herbalists. You need to come from those bloodlines so that you can be able to fight such foundations. If you do not come from a very stubborn bloodline, from a very, very dangerous bloodline, it will not be easy for you to overcome some certain situations that you see. That is why you see so many of these pastors, they'll tell you, my grandfather used to be a very powerful herbalist. My grandma used to be a very strong witch. My mom was a witch. My dad was a warlock. My dad was occultic. Why are you from that bloodline? That is why you ask yourself those questions and you're like, man, why am I from this place? Why are people here so wicked and heartless? The reason why you come from there is because you need such blood in your veins to be able to overcome the battles that are going to be coming from there. Let me give you a very good example. I'll give you two examples. The first is there's this guy that acted a movie. He's a popular black American actor. They call him Wesley Snipes. Now, the story of Wesley Snipes' movie titled Blade is a vampire movie actually, where he came into the picture as his mother was actually pregnant of him, and the mom got beaten by a vampire. So they had to look for ways to save him from being a complete vampire while he was in his mother's womb. So at the end of the day, they were able to, work on it, and he came out as a child, but somehow he still had the blood of a vampire in his veins. Now, when he grew up, what did he start doing? He started slaying vampires. Why? Because they are harmful to humanity. Yes, he has their blood in his veins, but not a complete vampire. You understand? And he kept working on himself. He kept on infusing there's some drugs he had that he would always use to make sure he doesn't turn to a vampire. Now, a lot of you are like that. A lot of you are from such bloodlines. A lot of pastors, a lot of women you see that are prophetess today, they come from such bloodline of the marine, the water, where, when you now look at these bloodlines, you know what is going on in those places. You know how people suffer, people go through a lot. And then you say to yourself, I refuse to be like this. I want to put an end to this pain. So, and one thing you should know is they will start to fight you, people from there. That is why you find yourself coming from a place where your own people are your own biggest enemies. That is why you get confused as a chosen one. You get tired and you're like, wow, why is it that this person is fighting me? But this person is meant to be my person. This person is meant to love me. No. The reason why the person may not work with you is because of the fact that you are from that bloodline and you have refused to be part of them. You have refused to follow their way. So long as you have refused, they will do things to silence you. Even if the person in question, most of the time, the person in question that might even be fighting you, most times they can be your sworn enemy. They could be born to destroy you as well. That could be their mission. While some could be that they were just possessed by some powers from your foundation to frustrate you, to make life a living hell for you till you leave this world. Like, they will deal with you. But with the help of prayers, those ones that were probably demonized by some forces. And the reason why they would demonize such people is because they have natural spirit of jealousy. They have some vices in them that is worthy of them being possessed by that spirit. So these are the things that you will go through as a chosen one. So you don't need to get confused and you ask yourself, this look abnormal. Why is somebody that is coming from my own lineage is fighting me? This person is my biggest enemy. This person would even go as far as ganging up with people to destroy you. And you're asking yourself, why am I going through this? It is because of the fact that you are from that lineage, but you have refused to be part of that. You have sworn with everything in you that you would make sure you break that curse, you break that evil pattern. So long as you have decided to do that, even your foundation will be against you. So that is why every chosen one suffer a lot. And when you discover your purpose, you get to really understand why they are attacking you. And then secondly, let me give you another example. There's this movie in the past. I think I was in secondary school when I watched it. I'm just trying to use it as an example so that you can understand yourself as a chosen one. Now, the scenario unveils where a woman was wearing a boy his outfit. After wearing him his clothes, she just left him outside while she entered inside the house. The boy kept knocking and knocking and knocking. She refused to answer because she had her own children. She really loved those ones, but that boy was the first child, but she didn't like the child. Okay, we now got to understand why she was doing that. The reason why she was doing that was because she gave birth to that boy outside wedlock, and she was molested by a prominent man in the society. The man impregnated her, took advantage of her, and he has been doing that because he has wealth. He might just invite you as a girl and he would just use you, and you don't have nothing to say about it. So out of pain, out of anger, she maltreated the boy, because anytime she sees the boy, it reminds her of that man. You understand? Even though the boy was innocent. You get what I'm saying? So now, fast forward back to when he grew up and all that. When he grew up, he decided to ask questions, and then when he got to discover that this was the reason why the mother never liked him, he had to hunt down his father. And this man has always been one of the biggest, the richest, most famous, most strongest allies, greatest in their country. This is a movie. This is an Indian movie actually, but it's a political movie. So now, for you to be able to bring such a person down, it will not be easy. So that boy, at the end of the day, was the only person who was able to destroy the man. He was able to unalive the man. Why? Because he shares the same blood. They have the same blood running through their veins. So that is why, as a chosen one, you need that blood in your veins to be able to overcome such forces. Now, these are the reason why I do tell some people, I'll say, if you notice, there are so many ministers that come from the Ishan tribe of Nigeria. This, I think it's Edo or Benin. They are called Ishan. Now, these people in Africa, they are known to have one of the biggest, the strongest witchcraft. But you see those people, when you see a minister that comes from such places, let me just say Edo, Benin, Delta, you see, ministers that come from such places are usually very powerful ministers. Why? Because of the kind of foundation they have, the kind of place they come from. Powerful witchcraft occurs in those places, even Anambra and all that. So these are the things that you need to understand. You need those kind of bloodlines. You need such places. You need to come from such places to be able to overcome the forces from there. And I'm going to do a part 2 of this video to make you understand another thing that makes your purpose unique, why it cannot be done by anyone else but you. Stay tuned. I wish you all the best, chosen ones. Keep being a blessing.